We know that the analytical methods are required to be stability indicating, and to prove that we need to perform the force degradation. In the force degradation study, the mass balance is required, and in this video we are going to learn regarding mass balance in the force degradation studies, why it is important, and can we get 100% as a total mass balance every time, or can we get less than that, and what are the reasons for not getting the correct mass balance. The force degradation study, it is for the degradation, to study the degradation pattern of the API. Also it is done for the formulations. Then it is to prove that the analytical method is stability indicating and it can detect the API in the matrix along with the impurities or degradations. When you degrade the API, it degrades into the impurities. The degradants are formed, the impurities are formed, and your method should detect the API and the degradants, and the mass balance should be 100%. The amount of API plus amount of all degradants, degradation products, the total should be 100%. For example, if I am adding 100% of API, the X amount of API, considering it as 100%, and I am doing degradation, the degradation impurities are around 5%. So I should get the API assay as 95%. 95 plus 5% degradation will give you 100% as mass balance. When API assay decreases, degradation products should increase proportionately, and a mass balance close to 100 should be there to give you confidence that the method is stability indicating and the method can truly track what happened to the drug. The goal of force degradation study is not only to break down the API or degrade the API, but it is to prove that the analytical method can detect and explain those changes. The mass balance is not only the calculation, it is a checkpoint for testing the quality, and mass balance confirms the reliability of the entire analytical strategy. Sometimes you get the mass balance as 100% or equal to 100%, near to 100%, but sometimes you will not get. So what are the reasons when you are not getting the mass balance? Poor mass balance may be there if the API assay drops, but the corresponding degradants peaks appear. The missing mass may be due to non-chromatographic degradants. These are not detected by UV. There may be volatile degradation products which are lost during the stress testing, secondary degradation into small or strongly retained compounds, and sample preparation or adsorption losses. So all these things are responsible or related to the not getting the mass balance. That's why your mass will be missing. For example, 100% API you have added, you got 95% of the API, you got 4% of the impurities. So what is about the 1%? That 1% may be missing. That 1% mass may be missing because it may be because of the secondary degradation, because of volatile degradation, or maybe because of non-chromatographic degradants which are not detected by UV, or those may be lost because of sample preparation or adsorption loss. So it is not like that you will get always the 100% degradation as a mass balance. Generally 8 to 10% force degradation is to be done. Different theories are there, different principles are there used by many of the professionals, but generally 8 to 10% degradation may be sufficient to indicate that your method is stability indicating. So why the mass balance and force degradation studies matter in the analytical method development and in the pharmaceutical industry? Because it is for stability indicating method validation, it is for impurity profiling, it is for self-life justification, and for meeting the regulatory expectations and complying to the regulatory requirements. It also guides you for formulation development and process development. So you need to have the understanding about mass balance in the force degradation studies, and you should know when you don't get the mass balance. You should find out the reasons. Thank you for watching the video.